What's up, you guys? My name is Aubrey and this is my channel, and today we're going to be talking about the PPP. More specifically, we're going to be talking about the group of people that could still receive PPP funds. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down which group of people could still receive funds. If you do end up receiving funds, what time frame you could expect this in, and everything else you need to know. So let's get started. So as you guys know, as of last week, the SBA announced that the PPP program has exhausted all funding. But there's a bit of an asterisk put on that statement because of the fact that they haven't exhausted all funding. They've just exhausted funding for most borrowers. And there are two groups of people that do still qualify for PPP funds, and that's really what I want to break down in this video. Now, over the last couple of weeks, as we've been nearing the end of the PPP program, the SBA set aside roughly $14 billion to be allocated to two specific groups of people. The SBA allocated about $6 billion to community financial institutions, and they allocated another roughly $6 to $7 billion to applicants that are currently experiencing hold codes. Now, if you don't know what that means, don't worry, I will explain. But if you are somebody that has been experiencing a bit of delays or a bit of holds on your PPP application, then that means that there is still a chance that you could receive PPP funding with these two allocated funding options. Now, let's first talk about community financial institutions, because the SBA has set aside $6 billion. By some reports, it's closer to $7 or $8 billion, but just for clarity, they've set aside between $6 and $8 billion to community financial institutions. Now, what this is this is a financial institution that traditionally serves minority and low-income communities. Some of this money is available through MDIs, otherwise known as Minority Depository Institutions, as well as Community Development Financial Institutions, or CDFIs. Now, both of these different types of institutions are slightly different, but for the sake of clarity for the duration of this video, I'm going to be just referring to both of these institutions as community financial institutions from here on out. Now, when it comes to community financial institutions, there are institutions spread across the entire United States in almost every city that there is, especially low-income cities. And depending on where you live, you can almost without a doubt find one in your area, or at least within a short drive of where you live. Now, there is a wonderful website called Opportunity Finance Network, and this is a website that helps you find community financial institutions. In fact, if we look over at my computer now, you can see that there is an entire map here showing that there are a number of community financial institutions across the United States. These are just ones in the Opportunity Finance Network. There are many others that aren't included on this list, but you can see here that it says, "We work in neighborhoods across the United States to provide affordable, responsible credit, create and sustain jobs, and stabilize communities." But the real reason why I want to show you this is because if we scroll down, you can see here that there is a locator for different types of community financial institutions. And if we put our mouse over loan program right here, you can click the drop-down menu and then click Paycheck Protection Program. And then if we click search, you can see here that this website brings up every single community financial institution in their network that are providing PPP funding. Now, you can see here that there is quite a lot available across the entire United States. We have Arkansas, New York, Indiana, California, Texas. You keep going down and there are more and more options. In fact, there are 3 pages worth of options for this locator. Another great option is a website called mycnote.com. I will include a link to this down in the description below, but you can see here that this website is as of July 17th, 2019. So I'm not 100% sure if this gets updated on a monthly, quarterly, or yearly basis, and if this information is outdated at this point. But regardless, I think that this is a really great resource. You can see here that there is a really significant list of every community financial institution in the United States. There are just so many different ones. And you can see here that there's a loan fund, bank, depository institution, credit union. So it really goes over all of the different ones that I've talked about in this video and even more. So if you're interested in seeing if there is a community financial institution in your area, I do think that this is a really great place to start. You can see that there is over 1,000 here listed on this site. And you can also filter them out as well by CDFI name, state, city, date certified, and institution type. So you can find something for your needs. So this is a really great resource. Again, I will include this down in the description below. Now, I'm not saying that every single one of these community financial institutions will have funds available for the PPP program. I'm sure that there are a number of institutions out there that are not offering funding at this time. But regardless, it is worth a try because there is at least $6 billion that has been allocated to institutions exactly like this for people like you to apply and receive PPP funds. Now remember, even if you apply for the PPP through a community financial institution, you will still have to be able to prove that you are eligible for the PPP. But if you're somebody that did not receive it for some reason before the program ran out of money, then I would definitely give this a shot. The second group of people that could still be eligible for the PPP if they have not received the funds yet are people that have had their application on hold due to hold codes. Now, when it comes to the PPP, one of the kind of systems that the SBA has put into place to fight fraud and ineligible applications from going through with the PPP program is a process called hold codes. And basically how this works is that depending on you, your circumstance, your business, your application, depending on what you filled out on the PPP application, that could have potentially resulted in a hold code. And a hold code could mean a number of different things, but basically in really short explanation, it just means that the SBA needs more documentation on your PPP application before they can approve it. This could be in the form of more tax documentation, LLC information, your personal information. It could be a wide range of different things. But the fact is that hold codes can greatly delay a PPP application from getting approved. And according to the SBA, it is estimated that there are still thousands of applicants who applied for the PPP as late as last year that have still not received funds because of these hold codes. Now, according to varying reports, there has been roughly $6 to $7 billion allocated to these business owners. These business owners that applied for the PPP in time, they applied for it within the time frame, they have an eligible business, but for whatever reason, there was a hold code put on that business and that application. In this instance, once that hold code is released and once the application either gets officially approved or officially denied, you could then at that point receive your PPP funds. Even though the program is technically out of money, you would receive a portion of that $6 to $7 billion that has been allocated to people exactly like you. Now, the process of releasing hold codes and actually getting your PPP funding, it depends on the type of hold code that is keeping your application from being approved. And the process that you need to take to release that will depend on you, your factor, your application, your business, and so many other things. And so unfortunately, because of that, I can't go over all of the instances that would result in a hold code or could release a hold code in this video. But what I would encourage you to do is I would encourage you to reach out to your lender if you're somebody who has been a victim of a hold code, or if you think that you could have a hold code on your application. Because if you do, and if you can get those issues resolved and the hold code released, then you could still potentially receive PPP funds. But I would discuss this with the lender that you applied for the PPP through. But with that being said, you guys, I hope that you found this video helpful, and I hope that if you are somebody who falls into these two groups of people, I hope that you're able to figure out a way to get those PPP funds. But ultimately, I think that the fact that the PPP ran out of funds is something that is super interesting, and I'm very interested to see how the next couple of weeks play out. And if lawmakers explore the option of giving the program more money and extending it once again, or if they will simply allow it to expire like we are expecting on May 31st. Regardless though, I hope that you enjoyed this video and I hope you found it helpful. If you have any questions, comments, or if you have anything to add, then make sure to leave a comment down below. And while you guys are at it, make sure to hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.